Greetings to you. I'm Keith Massey. In this video, I'll tell you the story of how I once won a $1,000 prize in a paper airplane contest. As an added bonus, I'll show you how to make the exact model that I used to win that contest. So if you're interested in making a copy, pause this video long enough to go get yourself an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper so you can join me. Are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, so you've got your 8.5 by 11 piece of paper ready. The first thing we do, like with many paper airplanes, is we have one lengthwise fold. Now it's very important to make sure that your corners are truly lined up, because if they're not, then your plane is going to be heavier on one side than another, and it just won't fly straight. Okay, now as with the classic dart design, we are going to be folding these corners inward. However, one important difference. I'm going to fold this not directly to the center crease. I'm going to fold this so as to leave about ½ inch space from the center crease to where I folded this down. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be folding this again toward the center, and we want to make sure we don't put too much paper bunched up into this middle. So we repeat the procedure, of course, on the other side. I fold it, try to line it up best I can, leaving about ½ inch. I'm now going to fold this again inward, this time to the center crease. If you did not line up your first fold as symmetrically as possible, that's going to merge very soon. I repeat the procedure on the other side, folding directly to the center crease, and this looks really good. I really did a really good job of more or less lining that up. The next step, having already folded twice toward the center, leaving ½ inch, as I said, in the first fold, is I'm going to now fold this tip backwards toward the center of the plane. Now you can create different planes depending on how much distance you fold back. If you fold a lot back, you create a plane that has its weight distributed a little further back, and that actually helps it be a plane that soars quite a bit. I want a plane that's designed for distance, which is what I needed for that contest. And so I want my weight as much as possible in the front. I am going to fold only 1 inch or so backwards toward the center of the plane. So you see what I've done? 2 folds inward. I fold the tip backwards about 1 inch. I now close the plane up. Okay. Having folded the plane as such, I now am going to fold outward, lining up this wing with the bottom of the plane. We repeat the procedure, of course, on the other side, folding the wing outward to meet the bottom of the plane. One more step. I'm actually going to fold this one more time. I fold outward, lining it up to the bottom of the plane. Now this front is going to feel very bunched up, and that's okay, because when we open this plane up, we're going to kind of reshape that front a little bit. We flip the plane. Again, the second fold outward to line up with the bottom of the plane. Now look what we do next. When we open this plane up, that second fold creates this kind of like hollow wing effect that really kind of channels the air and lets this plane really achieve great distance. What you might want to do, you might want to just kind of reform this front, making sure that these little parts here in the front are kind of turned upwards, because then as the air hits them, it's going to create a little bit of lift. And what we have just created here, folks, is a plane perfectly adapted both to great distance and also straight, accurate flight. Okay, back to the story. Now, I had designed this over the years by trial and error to be something that really flies straight and far. And it just so happened that in 1999, I was at the Taste of Madison, which is like this food festival in Madison, Wisconsin that rings the Capitol Square area. And I saw that there was a promotional thing for Habitat for Humanity. You donate $1 and you get to make a paper airplane. And if your paper airplane manages to make it past this one mark that they had set up, you qualified for the finals. I knew immediately that this thing could easily meet that mark. So I paid my $1, I made this airplane, I threw it, and of course it made it, and they took down my name and they informed me, okay, you can come back for the finals later in the day. So I hung around, and eventually the time for the finals came. And as they were checking people in, I noticed some people were making more than one airplane. And I said, I don't understand what's going on. And they said, well, you can qualify as many times as you want. I didn't understand the concept. I could have paid $10, made 10 of these, and I could have qualified 10 times. And now apparently you get a throw in the finals for as many times as you qualified. And I had exactly one throw. And I was thinking to myself, oh, it's a waste of my time that I even stuck around. Anyway, as you see in this image, here is where the finals were going to take place. In the finals, it was not just distance, but also accuracy. The finals would be that you are throwing the airplane on the sidewalk that rings the Capitol Square area. And in order to qualify for the finals, it is the farthest plane thrown that stays on the sidewalk. So I recall that someone went before me. They threw their plane, it went down, it landed somewhere on the sidewalk, and they marked it off, and then that was how far that person got. I was up second. So I took my plane and I realized if I have any chance of winning this thing, I have to come up with the perfect ratio of force, but not too much force, lest it go off and land off the sidewalk, and then it would be disqualified. So I threw hard and I threw straight, and I saw my plane do its thing. This plane really can go straight. It went nice and straight. It landed on the sidewalk, and it actually slid for a distance. They marked it off. I was now the current leader. So one by one, people came up. And I'm going to admit, some of these people just didn't understand that in the finals, you had to stay on the sidewalk. They would throw their airplanes as absolutely hard as they could, and it would go some distance, but then it would land on the lawn next to the sidewalk, and they'd say, sorry, that one's disqualified. And these people would say, oh, that's ridiculous. My plane went farther than that, guys. And I'm thinking, guys, the rules are the rules. Some of these people had multiple throws, and a part of me didn't even dare to hope that I could actually win this thing. But there came a point in which the people who were competing were dwindling down. And finally, somehow, my plane was still the farthest marked on that sidewalk. And there was one guy left, and he had multiple throws. So he would throw. It didn't get as far as mine. He threw hard. It went as far as mine, but it went off the sidewalk. Finally, he had one last throw. And I'm thinking, I'm actually winning this thing, and this guy's last throw decides the whole contest. He throws his airplane. It's sailing. It's sailing. It actually goes above mine, still on the track of the sidewalk. But then, at the last second, his plane takes a little tilt, and it lands, and the nose lands in the grass next to the sidewalk. Contest was over, and I had won the thing. And so people organized, and it came over, and they said, congratulations, you won this contest. We need you to come over and sign some documents and also take some pictures with the United Airlines people. And I said, what United Airlines people? And they said, well, no, this was not just Habitat for Humanity. This was jointly sponsored by Habitat for Humanity as a fundraiser, but United Airlines is giving a $1,000 travel voucher to the winner. And so that's how I, in fact, did win a $1,000 prize with this paper airplane. Here's a picture of me wearing a t-shirt that United Airlines gave me, holding the plane that, in fact, won that contest. Be well, people.